Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back again for your sex and relationships monthly tarot horoscopes. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Aries for the month of September 2015. Surprise, I am back doing these sex and relationship videos for you guys. I am using the Decameron Tarot deck, okay, and it's an erotic deck. So I am disclaiming for everybody that this is for everybody over 18. This video is going to contain strong sexual content, graphic nudity, and language. So this is for the parents, okay? This is for those of us who are older and responsible and think about sex and talk about sex and want to have sex, okay? So that's what this video is about. So I am going to be back doing my regular Shadowscapes readings for mid-September in just really a couple weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks from now I'll be doing those, so stay tuned for those. For those of you who really like my regular readings, don't panic, I will be back doing those again, okay? So anyways, this is for Aries, and let's just see what we get for you guys. I have been shuffling, so I'm just going to lay out your spread. Really interesting. Okay. All right, so in the center of everything, the first card that you got is this one. And you can see it's a guy who's like laying down on the ground here, looking up at this woman and really fantasizing about her. Now, the interesting thing about this card, and it's kind of, very graphic, but she's peeing into a cup or jar, okay? And so this card is really about idolizing someone or ignoring the negative traits about somebody, really fantasizing about somebody. So if somebody's like a bad dude, you're thinking that guy, there's things about that guy that you really, really like, but they're still a bad dude, Same with a girl. Like you may see only that she's beautiful, but really she's manipulative and cunning and, just, she just doesn't have the qualities in someone that you would really necessarily want in a long-term partnership, okay? So both guys and girls here, this is not just, Aries guys or Aries girls. This is where, you're seeing only the good. You're seeing what you want to see, okay? You're seeing only the good things. You're not seeing their negative traits. You're not acknowledging really necessarily their negative traits, okay? I'm going to read what I wrote. To idolize or idealize someone, to find or to look for or to have found Mr. or Mrs. Right, to dream of finding Mr. or Mrs. Right, and seeing the person for all the best qualities and overlooking the negative ones. The male is scared and has run for the hills because he's found the right one, or because he's found the woman he's been dreaming of his whole life, okay? Or because he just got scared, okay? For those of you who are dealing with someone who just like took off, you don't know where they went, things were going really well, and suddenly he disappears, well, he's running for the hills. Why? Because he got scared, okay? To be honest with you, Aries guys especially, I feel like that's you, okay? Aries guys, they're the first one to take off. First sign of intense neediness from the girl, they leave, okay? So if you're watching this and you're dealing with an Aries guy, chances are they ran for the hills because they got scared. Or because, for whatever reason, you weren't the one that they thought, you weren't the one that they think that they want, okay? So this is where guys are dumb. No offense to guys here, but, guys, you know, guys sometimes see what they want to see, okay? And some guys are just, I think, a little bit too analytical about their checklist and about what their ultimate person, who the ultimate girl would be for them, okay? They kind of have this, strangely dreamy approach to relationships, whereas, a girl is okay, we have all this chemistry, we have everything in common, we have, great sex, da da da, and yet the guy doesn't see it. Why? Because for whatever reason, maybe your nails were painted a different color, a different shade than what he really expects his future wife to wear, something crazy. This is where the dream comes in, the fantasy for guys comes in, of what their future Mrs. Right needs to be like, or what they want, And it's okay for them to want that, but you would think that they would, on some level, make the better choice. But they never do, to be honest with you. They just rarely ever do. So, anyway, that's my little side note on guys. So, Aries girls, you may be quite the object of somebody's affection and attention, okay? If you are single and dating, okay, this is you. You are the object of their attention, and, they may be putting you kind of on a pedestal, okay? Even if you're married, okay, they could still be putting you on a pedestal. That's where you're at. They see you for being this great, wonderful thing, and they don't see your negative qualities, okay? It's like that. This card represents, okay, it's guys not wanting to hear or see that girls fart or shit or pee, this is one of those things. It's just that's the reality, but the guy only sees that she's amazingly beautiful. She doesn't see that she really has stinky feet or bad breath or wakes up looking like a monster in the morning. So, I'm just saying, these things are overlooked, okay, because that's how they view you, which is not bad or good. It's just the way it is. Now, the card that's crossing you is engagement or marriage. Some of you are already married, okay? But this card is really about wanting marriage and getting engaged. Some of you are getting engaged or will be getting engaged in September. This is the beginning of September. Some of you are getting married in September, which is really great. This is chocolates, flowers, and kisses. This is romance, okay? Tantalizing foreplay. This is a suitor who wants to woo and gets excited about it, okay? To get excited on the first date, to look forward to fun in the bedroom. This is, if you are married, experiment with objects and food in the bedroom. If single, this can indicate Mr. Wrong or Mr. Right, depending on how serious the guy is and if you can make it to take date 10 without sleeping with him, okay? This is a guy who wants to, woo, that wants to, take you out, that wants to, buy you dinner and get you flowers and all this stuff, So this is a very romantic gesture or partnership or desire for romance, either on the male or female's part, okay? In the distant past, you got this card, which is the outcome for the Pisces spread. So you may be in a relationship with a Pisces, okay? And this is, to me, this is a guy who kind of has dishonorable intentions, okay? His intentions are strictly dishonorable. This is a guy who wants to play, but isn't serious about it, okay? This is a beautiful, voluptuous woman who is very tempting to men. Even a man who is married or unavailable, whose intentions are strictly dishonorable, as he wants to look to play but will not give up his freedom or want commitment. So the interesting thing is you may be a very voluptuous Aries female, okay? And there may have been a guy that you had your eye on who either you were married or they were married or both, where they didn't really want to commit to. They wanted to mess around, but they didn't really have serious intentions. And they can't, okay, so here's the thing, and I will say this, okay, because I see this a lot in my readings. If you are the person who's already married, you cannot expect a man or a woman who you have your eye out for to be able to offer you a serious committed relationship because you're already in a serious committed relationship. They're not going to take you seriously. Even if you say, this is what I want, I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for somebody else, I'm going to get out with my husband or my wife, I'm looking for something real, they're just not going to respect you. Okay, they're just not. Because people generally, in society, this is not everyone, respect someone who's married and who's cheating on their partner. They just don't respect that. They just don't. And the marriage can be over. Like, say you're in a marriage and it's over, really over. It's not over until the divorce papers are signed. Okay? It's not over till you've moved out. It's not over till the bags are packed, etc., etc. That's how it goes. Okay, so where was I? In the recent past, you've got this card here, which is, I think of this as I call this the OBGYN card, okay, which is interesting because it does have I want to say, have a role in this deck, okay, because women have hormones, guys have hormones too, but the hormones that are involved here in our bodies make us feel sexy or not sexy. And this is where you're not, in the recent past, maybe you had some hormonal problems or OBGYN problems and you weren't feeling very sexy, okay? This is taking time out to be alone and to not have sex for some time, okay? This is potentially waking up after a long wild night, a bit confused and wondering, what have I done? But this is also having OBGYN issues. For a man, this is a woman who is quite fed up and wants a divorce or a breakup. You may, I want to say you may have wanted a divorce from your partner, where you woke up one day and you're like, I don't want this anymore. This is not what I want. This is it's time for me to get out of this relationship. So I feel like female Aries, that's kind of where you're at. If you've been in a relationship with someone, especially if you've been in a relationship with a guy who's doesn't seem to want to commit, or didn't want to leave his wife, or you're kind of messing around with someone who wasn't serious, okay? This is where you kind of just wanted to break up. This is where you came to the point where you're like, okay, I just want to break up. Fuck you, fuck off, get away from me kind of thing. But yeah, but hormones can be involved, with women's moods. I mean, they really are involved more than we really know. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're dealing with someone who, your wife's an Aries or your partner's an Aries, she may have been having some kind of hormonal problems or OBGYN problems, period problems. Women, who don't have regular cycles or who are bleeding a lot, this can cause interruptions in their sex life, okay? And this is also, I think of this as someone who hasn't had sex for some time. So some of you have been, this is like going through a very cool period where you were messing around with someone who maybe really wasn't good for you. And then you went through this period of time where you really just didn't have sex, like really at all. What's crowning you is interesting card about bisexuality in men, okay? And I've seen this a lot, actually. The thing about this is it doesn't necessarily always mean bisexuality for guys. It can just mean wanting to have a hand job or a blow job, because that to me is what he's doing. And this is bisexuality in men, or desire for a male sex partner if male. This is also bi-curiosity as well, okay? can also mean fantasies about male and male sex experiences. So this doesn't mean, Aries females, if you are with a male, your partner may have fantasies about being with another male, okay? Or you may have a male best friend who has a gay partner or who is bisexual or bi-curious, okay? Aries guys, this is you being either bisexual, wanting to have, or gay, okay? Or wanting to have a male partner of some kind, okay? I've seen it also with just, again, someone just wanting a blowjob or a handjob. Maybe you're in a relationship, Aries females, with a guy who just wants a blowjob or a handjob. That's what their main focus is. It's almost like, in some instances, it's almost like the fantasy is played out in the guy's mind because for whatever reason, the handjob or the blowjob is not what their wife or girlfriend is willing to do. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why they want that. And I'm not saying this is on all cases, but I'm saying in some cases, this is why this is taking place. It's also just, the bi-curiosity is there. But then, I do feel everybody's bi-curious at some point in their life, because everybody's bisexual. So we all have like a male, female side. So just bear that in mind, okay? So if you're watching this and you're an Aries female, you're like, well, how the hell does that pertain to me? Well, chances are there's a guy, Aries guy, that's watching this video, and that pertains to him. So it can also indicate, I want to say bi-curiosity for women as well. There's two cards that have this. There's the bisexual card for women and there's bisexuality for men. The bisexual card, to me, for both of them, is kind of interchangeable. It just means that there's bi-curiosity. Either you, your partner, somebody you know, that's playing out the fantasy in their head because they want either a handjob or a blowjob, or they want to hook up with somebody who's same sex. Because remember, to me, this deck talks about desires and fantasies. It's not always about like who's fucking who. Like, like people are like get down to it. They're like, okay, well, who is doing this, and can you describe this person to me, and what are they doing with that? And it's just this is not nitty gritty stuff. First of all, because this is general, which is a general reading, okay? And second of all, there's thousands of people that this could be applied to. However, it's not always a physical thing. It could be just fantasy, what's going on in their head. And that's okay. Everybody has fantasies. Just because a guy has a fantasy about another guy doesn't mean he's going to end up with a guy, I feel like in some cases, this could be also a guy who connects very well to other guys, and either gets into a lot of arguments with females or just has never had a really good relationship with a female. This could also be why that's taking place. There's a whole host of reasons. They may just be gay, but also could be that they just connect well more to men, and that's why this is coming up. Again, we have another card about being in another kind of cooling period. So I feel like I want to say for the month of September, this is not really the sexiest time for you, okay, Aries? I'm not going to say the sexiest time. You may be looking for romance and flowers, and you may have, you may be dreaming about Mr. Right, but I think overall there's a lot of, I want to say there's going to be a lot of blowjobs happening in September. For those of you who are giving them, or those of you who are on the receiving end. I feel like there's three cards here about that. But first, let's talk about this card. This is the next card, immediate future. So, beginning to middle of September. This is a person reading a book. This is not that graphic, right? You agree. It's just a person reading a book, okay? This is to have a strong sense of sensuality and erotica and the desire for sex, but body issues and shyness may inhibit closing the deal, okay? This could be, because this came up for Pisces too. This could be, Aries-Pisces partnership where guy is really not interested. If you're Aries female, guy is uninterested in having sex. Unlikely, but still possible, okay? This is wanting to have sex, but not having much experience or needing to get out there again and start dating more. You won't meet him sitting on the couch by watching porn or reading romance novels, okay? This is again, because this doesn't even look like really. This could be a guy or a girl, okay, male or female. Aries. This is you kind of, you want to have sex, but you're really just not making the effort to go to find a new partner. If you've been in a partnership where it's kind of cold, I want to say it's kind of cool, where you're really just not doing it that much. This is you not really taking the steps to go out there, needing to go out there again. Okay. Okay, so then going back to the 3 cards about handjobs and blowjobs, we've got 2 more cards about blowjobs here. Okay, so September is the blowjob time, okay, for you guys. So you can see, but these 2 cards, it's not just about blowjobs here, okay? In the position of emotions is this. I will read this for you, okay? It's the desire for a good blowjob. For a man, this is the #1 desire. Full-on sex comes second. Try finishing sex with a happy ending on a regular basis. This also can indicate a woman who likes to give head and whose willingness to give head is because it turns her on. This is also to think about blowjobs constantly. This is a man who will love you forever if you give him head regularly. What else to say? Okay, and then also, okay, so that's what you're looking for. Aries men who are watching this, to me, this is like your #1 thing. That's what your goal is for September. Goal is blowjobs every day. Every day, every day, every day. Check. Did I get a blowjob today? Check. Every day. That's what you're looking for. What the universe is sending you is this is sexual healing. I think of it as a card of sexual healing. It's more of a sexual healing. It's sexual harmony too. It says to be in a healthy relationship where there is give and take. A woman who will show up at work to give you a blowjob. Dedication and loyalty. This is a man who goes to bat for you and supports you and who would die for you. So this is a really, really strong card about supporting each other. So this is not just about sex. And he's like, yeah, she's willing to show up at work, but I mean, that's a very bold thing for a girl to do. And you're, if you're an Aries guy, this is you really, I want to say, being willing to do whatever for your girl. Really being protective. Aries guys are very protective. They're very fiery, but they're very, very protective. So this is a relationship. I see this as being a very strong relationship. This is what the universe is sending you. Or this is what you really need. You need to be in a very healthy, loyal partnership where there isn't where you both really, I want to say where you both are very faithful and you're both, really into being, being very giving to each other and sexually, like someone who's willing to show up at work. So that's saying a lot, a guy that's, willing to do whatever for you. Not because you give him a blowjob, but because, that too, but because he really loves you, Again, it's not an exchange of goods and services. It is doing it because you want to, doing it because you love the person, doing it because you really care. There are more reasons than just lust and lasciviousness, right? So I just want to say that, okay? And then this is a really funny card that's in the position of your attitude. And this is probably for more Aries, the Aries guys, okay? This can also be Aries females too. You see this guy, he's carrying this cup. And the girl's like they're swimming in this cup. She's like gorgeous. She's very, very gorgeous. You can't see her entire body, but she's long hair and she's, very voluptuous and very sexy. This is also a younger female, so you may be a younger female watching this, okay? This is a woman who has overactive a desire for sex, not enough of an emotional connection between lovers. This is needing love to develop for um, needing love to develop. Okay, this is the man is potentially overwhelmed by sexual desire for the female. He literally can't handle it. He needs time to figure out how the relationship is going to work with or without sex. The man may be intimidated a bit by older, more experienced women. Don't let her scare you. She's just a horny beast. That's what I wrote. So yeah, to me, this is like a woman who's very, very sexy, like who's like really like over hypercharged by sex. Like she needs to have sex like constantly. Like, someone who isn't just sleeping with one person; they're usually sleeping with more than one person because they really just need to have like a lot of sex. And this could be someone who's like, again, got these hormonal issues here, driven by hormones and just needing to get it on. And this may be overwhelming to a guy. Maybe your partner, maybe you're in a relationship with a partner who really just is not up to it. Like you're like, I want to have sex. Like, why are we having sex? And your partner is like, I can't handle it. I can't do it right now. I'm sorry. And for whatever reason, it's like you're not really a match sexually. If you're a female, you want to do it more than your partner, okay? Or you just need to have a lot of sex. And if you're male, you cannot handle this very sexy female that you've met or that you're going to meet in the future towards the end of September because she is more than you can handle, She may want to do it many, many times in one day and it's too much for you. Or she just may be very sexy and beautiful and you're just like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed by how good looking this person is. The outcome for you is, again, and you may be in a relationship with an Aquarius female because this is a card that came up for Aquarius, I think as well. And this is, I think of this as, you're working too much, okay? Aries, you're multitasking. You're the major multitasker here. And this is not enough focus on romance, okay? For both guys and girls, this is not really a romantic exchange. This is getting it on, getting it done, kind of thing. This is a woman who plays a good game, who withholds sex or gives sex on her terms alone, who is a quote-unquote bitch. The man is attracted to her, but will realize it's a mistake if he marries her. Can also indicate a man thinking he is going to get some, only to find out how wrong he really is, and how hard. Okay, so and how she is not an easy catch, and that she will be very hard to catch. Okay. This says an untamable woman. Okay, a woman who loves her freedom. So there's many different ways to interpret this card. I feel like Aries, you are just trying to multitask too much. Aries females, you're really like overly. I feel like you're just really, really busy, and you're not taking enough time for romance. If you're an Aries guy, I feel like you are chasing after could be another Aries female, but could be also an Aquarius female who's playing a good game, or who's playing a game. You may be chasing them, and they may like the chase, but the chances are you're not going to get some with her. You're just going to be chasing her. Or there's going to be maybe more games than anything in your relationship. You need to kind of reprioritize. I feel like for you, Aries, I want to say there's so much going on for all these different cards. The major theme here for you is you need to, A, get back out in the game. You need to, B, I want to say give and receive more blowjobs. You see, you need to kind of balance your work and your home life, or your, if you're in school and you're a young student, 22, 23, you need to, not study quite so hard or multitask so much. Take relationships more seriously. I feel like on the one hand, there's this like very strong, active sex desire for sex, and you need a healthy, happy partnership. But at the same time, there's a lot of services being exchanged here, aka the blowjobs and hand jobs. So I don't necessarily feel like you're going to be in a happy partnership come the end of September. You may be kind of just, I feel like, bouncing off the wall, doing, going here and there, doing what you need to do, getting a lot of things done, and the guy or girl that you want isn't really present, but yet you are kind of getting involved, or you are involved with, random people, hookups, that really aren't the long-term partner that you want. So that's all I'm really getting for you guys. I will be back again, like I said, mid-September for your regular Shadowscapes readings, for your mid-September reading. And if you'd like a private reading, feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for messaging and liking my videos and sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. And I send you big hugs, like usual. Big hugs. Big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, take care.